Fruit. It's good for you.
It is. That's what I've been told.
It's the healthy fruit,
As opposed to all those unhealthy fruits.
as opposed to burger fruit.
I want a burger. Fruit. I want one right now.
Would be lovely. Would be lovely.
Just pick it right off the vine.
Yeah.
Mm. They can do other stuff. They can also do that then. And they should.
Yeah.
Burger fruit.
Exactly. Watching my calorie intake. Still, keeping up the good fight. It's so fat I can have a cola and not worry about it. The delicious taste of Coca-Cola, ladies and gentlemen. It's the flavour we can't forget.
It doesn't taste like metal death or anything.
Yeah. It's okay.
Has the show started? You said
it has started.
Oh my god!
There's a lack of energy and it's shit, but it's started. Yeah, I brought nothing to the table this week. I've brought you nothing. Willem Dafoe movie pitch? No. Gordon Ramsay TV pitch? No. Great idea for Jonathan Holmes? No. About 2 minutes ago, I thought Jonathan Holmes should be a were-ass. Every full moon, he just turns into a gigantic ass and just poops all over Boston.
Not like a donkey, then.
Yeah.
Like a butt.
Just a big bum. Like maybe walking with each cheek. Just boom, 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 boom. But there's literally no mileage in that idea. That is the mileage. Saying it.
That's all right. That's going to make people feel great. They're already feeling great. And curious about what's going to happen in the show because who knows?
Now it's a mystery. There's clearly no plan.
Anything could happen. But it will probably be,
Pretty much the same stuff it is every week.
Yeah, between an hour and a half, 2 hours of three idiots chatting shit. Utter shite. I don't know why people demand more. How long was last week's? An hour and a half? Hour and a half about
still
that.
Pretty long. Yeah, still pretty long.
Too short, they say. Too short. You fuckers. You got 2 Willem Dafoe movie pitches. You got 2 Gordon Ramsay pitches. What more do you want? There should be no more. Talked about Dynasty Warriors. Every boy's fantasy. What more do you want?
It's who knows? It's not about content or quality. I don't think. But I'm not one to claim to know. But there is video game news we can talk about. Woo!
Oh, we can't lead off with that.
Yeah, we can. We can this time, because what else have we got?
Oh!
Doodly-doo.
Ambushed!
The Microsoft confirmed it, you guys. Self-publishing for the Xbox One. Big deal. They didn't confirm it before. Now they confirm.
Yeah, it's as big a deal as it was last time they did it, in that it's going to be a whole lot of sound and noise, and then nobody's going to take advantage of the platform effectively, and it's going to totally bomb, because they don't actually give a shit.
Oh, I heard rumor. I don't know, I haven't read the news post, so maybe it's in there. You can confirm it for me. That each Xbox One is going to work effectively as a dev kit, which will put everybody... I could just go buy Xbox One and start deving.
Yeah.
Self-published.
Yeah, you could have bought an XNA membership for $100 and used your PC and gone deving too, but it wasn't any profit in it.
Oh, jeez, you just talked about $100 and a computer. I don't...
Yeah, but you already have a computer if you're planning on developing a video game. Let's be honest.
Not me. I'm going to get an Xbox One and start...
Not Jonathan Blow. He does it on a typewriter to be ironic.
Feeds it, if it types it out on a typewriter and then feeds it into a machine that converts it into punch cards and then drops them one at a time.
Yep. And your job, he doesn't even, he stops at the punch cards, and your job is to buy them and just flick through them going, like that. And that's it.
It's a new dimension in gaming.
Yeah. I think this is about the atom bomb. I like his games.
Oh, yeah.
His game.
His game is good.
All right. That wasn't even supposed to be an insult. That was me correcting myself. It is a game of his I have played, and I have looked at pictures of The Witness and thought those are pictures of a game.
It looks good.
It's a game, Jonathan.
Video game?
It's a game that, I shit you not, I will play for an indeterminate amount of time.
Whoa.
Quite possibly to its conclusion.
He was actually one of the people who was most annoyed with the way the video game press was handling the story that you can self-publish on Xbox One. He was saying that we weren't digging hard enough for the facts, that we weren't pointing out that, and not Destructoid specifically, I don't think he cared about us, but just in general.
Shit about us.
Yeah, well, he likes us a little, and then doesn't. Depends on the person. But, yeah, that this wasn't such a big deal because, they never said that you couldn't do it before, and that the press in general has made this whole Xbox One situation such a mess, which is interesting because he's really working hard with Sony on The Witness currently, kind of put his chips there, and has said some pretty negative things about Microsoft in the past in terms of how things went on Xbox Live Arcade. So, yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Jonathan Blair's he's always angry at the press. Full stop. Doesn't matter to me. I've removed myself from that racket. That racket never wanted me. I don't want it. Now when people make fun of the press, I sit behind like the little kid who hid behind the school bully, and I just point and say, yeah, you're right, they are shit. I don't care anymore, I do videos now. Fuck it.
You still report on some hot news.
I post things that amuse or interest me, which amuse and interest very little other people. Few other people, sorry. I don't even have to obey the rules of grammar anymore. I'm not a journalist. Poo. That's what I say. Poo now. Where's my check for saying poo? I don't even know what point I'm making. This isn't a satirical point. This is what happens when I come in without a plan.
That's so hard that you plan every week.
I don't actually plan every week. I have one or two ideas that I haven't fully thought through, and just go with that, and I'm confident that they will save the show no matter how shit everything else turns out to be. But I don't have those small nuclei anymore. This week I don't have like a pitch to fall back on or something I'd like you to do, Jonathan. I don't have any of those things. So I'm coming in with less confidence, but too much energy. And those are terrible things to go together.
Oh no, this is great. This is going to be the wildest Podtoid ever. Because who knows? Like we were saying before, wow.
Anything could happen, but nothing probably will.
Yeah, nothing will at all.
I doubt that. Such as Tonetta, you wrote about that as a journalist, Jim.
I did not write about it as a journalist. I wrote about it as a man that likes Tonetta and wants more of him.
I looked up my video journal, my video weblog journal. And it said, the journalizer, you, wrote in the journal that Tonetta does Super Meat Boy, ... Yes.
Well, what more needed to be said about that?
Mm-hmm.
It is a darn funny headline.
I love Tonetta. I think we talked about it before, but his cooking videos are way better than his music videos. Like, his music videos are cool and awesome and brilliant, and anyone who says they're disturbing and wrong is a liar and a fraud. And possibly a murderer of children, but it's his cooking videos where he really comes to life. He did he cooked burgers and rice at one point, and because the meat was brown, spent the entire 12-minute video calling them poo burgers. Not once did he ever stop. Not once did he change it. Not once did he worry that the gag was losing its luster. Just every time, poo burgers. We're gonna cook poo burgers now. I got my rice frying in a pan. Poo burgers. I love Tonetta. I donated $25 to his Indiegogo, so I get a signed photograph of him.
You're
What's
a good
he
man.
going? What's he going?
He wants money.
His ongoing career.
Yeah, his life. He just wanted, like, I think the end thing was 6 months to where he can just not worry. That's what you're contributing to. 6 months so Tonetta doesn't have to worry. Which, to me, is possibly the most noble goal I've ever seen. And you can't call scam on it. You can't do, like, what they did with every other Kickstarter Indiegogo that happens, where it's like, you worried a little bit these 6 months. Fraud! Scam! Can't even prove it. But I'm happy to give him money. I'd have given him more, but I don't know how much money I've got. So I had to play it safe.
Well, that was awfully nice of you. And you can do that on Indiegogo? You can just say, not for anything in particular, just want some money to live on. And I'll make things.
Apparently you can.
Oh,
Well, the dude has a proven track record of making things.
Mm-hmm.
sure. Absolutely.
We know he's got the goods.
I thought you had to be more specific. So
It seems like throwing money to Tonetta is a pretty low-risk proposition, all things considered.
Oh, absolutely. A thing will happen for sure. And for people who don't know, Tonetta is a musician / YouTube video personality. And
an artist.
a visual artist, like painting and drawing.
He does drawings.
Oh, I did not know that.
Of nude things. and a chef. Because he does his cooking videos now. Where he fries rice and fries burgers and fries pasta and fries bread.
I first heard about Tonetta from our editor-in-chief, Dale North, while we were in Tokyo. And I was so freaked out that I was in Tokyo and hanging out with Dale North. I didn't know Dale North that well personally. We'd only seen each other at events and shared emails and stuff. So I was hoping Dale would like me and that we would be able to get along and have fun. And Dale, for people who don't know him, is a pretty mild-mannered person. Jokingly gets like really irritated over things that are stressful and difficult, but still somehow casual about it. Like, oh, fuck. Video game news, shit. All right, let's get to work on it, And then he'll get all this stuff done, and he's very professional and very well liked by other people in the industry. I noticed he was making tons of friends. So I figured he was a semi-normal guy, other than his love of hotshots golf and video games that people don't often give a lot of attention to. But then suddenly one day in Tokyo, he turns to me, he's like, you know what shit I'm really into? I'm like, what? Because we'd gotten to know it. It had been like a week, so he's really like letting his guard down. He's like, Tonetta, man. It's the best music ever made. The guy is a genius. The guy is a fucking genius.
This is Dale. Dale is so musically oriented.
Oh, yeah.
It is the strangest fucking thing in the world to hear him say something like that. I don't disagree that that Tonetta's artistic or whatever. But for a guy who's so focused on the craft of making music,
and so good at it,
it's so talented.
I mean,
to
Dale
then
Tonetta.
Well, here's the thing about Dale. This is what I've learned, especially when it comes to his opinions on food. Like, if you ever follow Dale North on Twitter or on Facebook, you see him talk about food. He seems to love food that's either really, really good or food that's really, really shit.
Yes.
He hates mediocrity. Just anything that doesn't excite, anything that's just there, he can't stand. And he gets really angry about it. Like, really, really, furious about these things. If something doesn't excite him, he will get excitable with just rage. And I think that explains, like, his love of Tonetta and other things when you find out. I mean, this is the guy that said horses are bullshit. That was in his list of top 10 things that makes him really angry was horses, because he just finds their concept stupid. He thinks the design is awful and they've got no point. That's the kind of man he is. If it's not extreme in some way, if it doesn't live up to the pinnacle of a standard, he will be annoyed with it. And I think that explains his love of Tonetta. It is the pinnacle of what it is.
And we haven't really told the people, who may not know, sadly, what it is.
And
What
that might be
happened?
for the best.
No,
We might want to let them discover that horror on their own.
think so. Jim?
Just look up Tonetta on YouTube. Just go.
Tonetta.
Yeah, and then look up Tonetta on video, but only after the YouTube ones. And yeah, the video
YouTube
is
it's like Tonetta Light.
yeah, yeah.
It's the shit he could get away with on YouTube, which when you watch, you'll say, I didn't know you could do this.
Yeah, he's a lovely man. I think a lot of people know him now because he was on. He was featured on an episode of Tosh Point Oh at one point.
Yep.
So if you watch that show, then you might recognize him from there.
And then go enjoy some.
So anyway, that's that.
Mm.
That's that, Jonathan.
Cool.
Indies can self-publish or get published on Microsoft's Xbox One and Tonetta.
Yes, you can write about Tonetta on Destructoid at times. And it's in the journal. You're officially a press member.
Yeah.
You go to press events and they're like, oh, he's in the press.
Not anymore.
Really? No more press events?
I didn't do E3.
True, that was
I
one.
don't go and do previews. PAX isn't a press event. The only things I've been doing, I don't have a press pass for PAX. I didn't apply for one.
Huh.
The only things I've been doing this year, things like Screw Attack Gaming Convention, was there as a speaker, and it's a sort of a, not a press event. And PAX Prime, there as a speaker again. Have some news for that coming up soon. Exciting stuff. And the Escapist Expo, again, there as a speaker, obviously a contributor to the Escapist. So, yeah, I don't really do press events anymore. I've got no desire to, and I'm not that good at them. So, that's that.
I think you're pretty good. It's a fine line, though. Once you stop writing news, does that mean that you are no longer in the press and you're just an editorialist / pundit? Or
critic, I think, is the
critic?
term you're probably looking for.
Well, sometimes Jim will just editorialize about the world or people.
Right, but that's still a social critic. That's not...
Oh, social critic. Okay.
I prefer the term guy over there.
Well, I guess this is the perfect time, then. As a guy over there, you don't have to worry about your press reputation. And things going wrong for you.
Because I had a fantastic one before this year.
The idea that hit me today, I was emailing with Sarah Thomas, who did a lot of the character design on Teenage Pokemon. I first found out about her because she did Podtoid fan art. She did a drawing of you, Jim. I don't know if you ever saw it. I assume you did. You look like a fussy, pretty Victorian lady. And you've got a little thought balloon, and in the thought balloon is just a relatively small penis. It's a great picture.
I don't think I've seen that one. I every now and then I discover like excellent drawings and things people have done of me or other Podtoid members that I'd never seen before. I guess it just got sort of swallowed up if they showed it to me on Twitter or Facebook or something, and it got buried under other stuff. So, yeah. It's not out of rudeness. Sometimes I just miss stuff.
Oh, so there's so much stuff, too, which is so flattering. But, all right, I'll find that and send it to you. Regardless, we've become friends on email quite a bit. We're talking about doing new projects and stuff. And I have a bunch of stuff I want to mail to her, but I want to wait until I've collected enough stuff because she's not in the United States. So it'll be a little bit expensive. And I said, oh, maybe I should wait until after PAX, and then I can send you something cool. And, oh, you like Jim a lot. Maybe Jim and I will do something, and I can send that to you. And she's like, oh, great. That would be so fun. I love Jim. And I'm like, maybe we'll bump butts. Maybe we'll bump bare butts. And she was like, oh, my God, that would be so great. But, I wouldn't want you to do anything that made you uncomfortable and, just being all nice and stuff. And I was like,
right. Now, let me just confirm, because I know where you're going with this.
Sure.
The email you sent to me today and the things you've been saying on Twitter is you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Is it really? That's I am surprised that people are surprised. I mean, I have been on the show.
You're surprised that people are surprised?
Yes.
Okay, carry on with the story, and then I'll tell you why I was surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I have been on the show for over 2 years now. I mean, it's
I've known
clear
you
that...
longer.
Right.
And I was surprised.
You've never been so on board.
This is nothing, Conrad. You didn't see the fucking email he sent me.
Really? I don't think anything of it at all.
I'm going to read out the email after you've said what you want to
It
do.
seems like a completely run-of-the-mill idea for me. I mean, it's
Right.
I guess the uncommon thing about it is that I'm trying to turn a profit. I want to be rich after this.
Yeah,
So
yeah. All of it, I say. Nothing for me.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
No,
you want all the money for
had-
this.
Yes, you've had your fun. You got to use these types of ideas for your own whatever. Now I just want the cold hard cash. It's not a joke. It's not meant to be funny.
There's
So-
no point you're making with this.
I don't think so.
You're not trying to illustrate something somewhere.
Well, if I were, I wouldn't tell you.
Right.
Ruin the point.
Okay.
Sarah thought the idea of us bumping bare butts was great. So I thought this could be a profit deal. And I cooked up in my head a little bit of a Kickstarter, $25,000 for at PAX, because that gives us some time, because PAX is a little bit
Yeah.
now. We'll just not pull our pants off, but you can stick your butt out of your pants, keeping the front pulled up to cover the genitals.
Cover the horrible shame.
And then, probably from the side view, I think, because that's most attractive, we will kind of back up and then bump butts together. Complete. Mission complete.
Yeah.
$25,000 to make it happen.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, so that's a Kickstarter that you want, that you said on Twitter, and I thought that's cute. It confirms the story I've always thought, that you are subtly stranger than I am.
Oh, thanks.
I believe. There's an insidiousness to it, because people think I am the freak one on the show. Because I have got because I talk a lot and I don't shut up. But then you say things and you watch films like that. What was that Zombie Woman and Frankenstein Lady?
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, shit like that.
Zombie ass Toilet of the Dead.
Zombie ass Toilet of the Dead. Yeah, you watch things that are way worse than stuff we talk about on here.
Oh, sure. That's why I'm on this show. It
Yeah.
does not. People have the wrong idea that I'm sadly doing the show, not enjoying the ideas you have. I think they're very, very interesting. I have a grand time every time you come up with something new. Though I do feel a little sad when I actually imagine myself getting stuffed with worms or whatever. But I keep
I
coming
forgot
back.
about that. We should do that.
All people said they wanted that to be a stretch goal.
Yeah.
Literally. Get
Stretch
it?
goal. That is so
My
funny.
butt.
Yeah, what they say.
Yeah, they had fun.
Anal pulling.
Yeah, there won't be any anal in my...
Stretch hole, they should have said.
Hello!
There we go. So this is the email you sent to me, right?
Okay. Yep.
Which at first I thought was brilliant.
Really?
I thought most of this was brilliant, and then it was the last bit, just the last few words, that made me think someone was, some strange man had gotten into your accounts.
Oh, okay.
So, email. Seriously thinking of doing a Kickstarter to fund us bumping bare butts at PAX. Thinking of going for $25K dollars. Low tier rewards would be non-material or extremely low worth goods like Animal Crossing furniture or hand-drawn pictures of pugs. High tier rewards would be to permit backers to write songs about us.
Yeah, we won't sue. And they can make money off those songs if they want. I'm sure they would make a lot of money off them.
I'm sure they would.
Letting them use our IP. It's pretty generous.
Or engage in a 15-second Skype call. This is worse than the Penny Arcade thing.
They can record it. They can record the Skype call and use it for something if they want. They'll get a lot of views.
And use it to produce songs to then sell. I see where you're going with this, yeah.
Yes.
You're offering people an entrepreneurial opportunity.
Absolutely.
I've been watching a lot of Shark Tank.
In many ways, we're kickstarting them with this idea.
Mm-hmm.
Starting their lives into the right direction. You're welcome.
Now, here's where it gets a little bit off kilter.
Yeah.
When
This is where?
Yeah.
Okay.
when you talk about the stretch goals, most of which I think are brilliant. As I said, it was the last one that made me think someone was playing a joke and pretending to be you. I had to double check your name and email address to verify. So, stretch goals would be putting whipped cream on our butts first,
Okay.
dressing up like babies, talking to our mothers while we bump butts, and for $100,000, we'd pull one bull each from our flies and bump our testicles.
Yeah. An idea.
I need to hear you say that back to me now, so that I can verify that that's really what I read from your head.
Oh, absolutely. I envisioned it. I thought, well, to me, the testicle isn't really a sexual organ. It's just like a place on your body. That's not that good. Not unlike the butt. I'm not a big, the butt is a place too. And the testicle just comes out of the fly. It looks like a little brain. Some call it a brain party when they all gather in circles, pulling their testicles out of their flies and just looking at them. Like, hey, you got one too.
Wait. Wait. That's a thing?
A brain party. Yeah.
That's a thing. That's real.
I was at a brain party. Some
You have
years ago.
attended one of these.
Yes, I have.
Were you the guest of honor?
No, we were all equals. It was a surprise brain party. I didn't
I would
get
imagine
invited.
so. Lord knows, if I were at a brain party, it would be rather surprising to me as well.
I was. I'm trying to remember the series of events that brought it together. But there we all were, just being like, we do have testicles, guys. They look.
I can't think of a way. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I cannot think of a way that something like this happens inorganically.
It happened you're right. But
I'm assuming years of planning went into it.
maybe it did secretly. Maybe
2002. It's like, guys, 3 years from now, set your watches, start counting down. Brain party. And then one of the guys is like, "What, brain party? Yeah, brain party. What's a brain party? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm in. I'm up for anything. But what is it? Right. We're gonna get as many of your friends, and I'm gonna get as many of my friends. Right. Get brothers, fathers, just anyone, because we need people in on this shit at the ground floor. Right. We're gonna meet up 3 years from now at a neutral location, probably a church, hallowed ground like the Highlander, so nobody can start a fight. We're gonna get on our knees, round in a big circle, take down our flies, reach into our pants, into our crotches, and pull out our testicles. Just the testicles. I've got
just
no
one testicle.
One testicle.
Two is gross. One is like abstract art. Like, what is that exactly?
That's the other friend explaining that the other one got it wrong. And he's saying, thanks, Chip. That's your name in this, Chip. And I'm Rapunzel. And we're going to get... You're right. Sorry, Chip's totally right. We're going to get one testicle out. Don't need the other one. Don't want the penis. Absolutely not fucking interested.
That would be gay.
And the other one's, the guy being presented with the idea is, and then what? Well, we'll look at them. We'll look at them. Yeah, pretty much. It's gonna, I'll look at mine first, make sure it's, still presentable. I'll look around the room, look at everybody else's. They're free to do the same, or just concentrate on a few they like. Do that for, I don't know, 10 minutes? Pack up, go home.
I can't remember how long it was for. And they said that they had planned them before, but this was a spontaneous one.
Very dangerous.
Yeah, it was.
Very dangerous. As I say, it normally takes... It's not like you can't, but it's like an exorcism. If you don't prepare ahead of time, who knows what could be unleashed? Priests could be thrown out of windows and break their necks. You can't fuck around at a brain party.
We did not. We stared at each other's testicles and made eye contact and said, "Yeah, this isn't gay. It's not weird either."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
Yep.
I don't think it is. Do you? No. No.
Them's is quality testicles.
So, knowing and having been involved in a brain party in the past, I thought, that might be the way to up the ante for the people who are willing to put the money in for this event. So I thought we would take out a testicle each and do a testicle bump. I don't know if it's ever been done. I can't think of a time that it's been talked about, because it would be painful, but not that painful, just a little bit. Then the money happens. And I want it. All of it.
You do want all of it.
Yeah. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to do this generosity to me, Jim? All I ask is a butt bump and a testicle touch. Not a biggie.
No big whoop.
Some would say it's a whoop. I don't know. It's up to you, Jim. I didn't mean to put a qualifier on it and make you feel ashamed if you don't want to do it. Because if it is a big deal, I totally respect that. Deep in thought?
I'm very deep in thought. We're at a crossroads. This is a real test of our relationship. This is one of those things where,
This is what Bone Thugs and Harmony meant. They're saying about the crossroads. It was this kind of conversation. Will you testicle bump with me for $100,000 of other people's money?
Of other people's money.
They'll just give us. We'll have to draw some pictures of pugs. We'll draw from memory what a pug looks like, which never looks right. And I've got Animal Crossing. I've got like a Kiwi table and a classic chair. I will give them those things.
Yeah, this requires more thought,
Okay.
but is most tempting and tantalizing an offer.
And we'll videotape the event.
Oh yeah, you want
short.
You want to keep that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll show people who really did it. The butt bump, I'm guessing, will be maybe 10 seconds, and the testicle bump will probably be closer to 30. It takes a little while to get it out there and not scratching anything up on the way out, so it's a little more involved. But yeah, stuff. I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this next week. Is that when you think you're going to decide? Because I got to start the Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign pretty soon. I only got so much money to raise all those thousands. Sorry, it was so much time to raise all the money.
Yeah.
Are you looking up Brain Party on the internet?
No, I'm just thinking about it. It's one of those things that you almost don't want to say you had the chance to do and didn't.
You only live once.
Yeah. But at the same time, $100,000 is a lot of money to go to you and not me a bit.
Well, I here's the concession I'd be willing to make. If we go over $100,000, you could get the run. And who knows? That could triple your money. I could have bet real low and ended up with 100,000, while you end up with 200 or 300,000.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen. we know this. What's that noise?
That's probably my wife running water in the sink when she knows that I'm on a podcast.
Probably doing it deliberate.
Yeah.
Undermining.
And now she's talking. Like, she can't just be quiet. Now she has to apologize for it. It's really adorable in a strange way.
It is. That just took people to a new place in the podcast. It proves that this is the best.
It's that part of the relationship where two parties are just trying to undermine each other subtly in various
what is love? Ways. Inadvertently hurt me. Inadvertently hurt me. No more. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what marriage is. That's what a bond between two people for life is. It's finding ways to keep each other's lives interesting. And sometimes that involves a little bit of misery and pain.
Sure.
But you want to keep people interested. That's the key. Keeping it exciting.
It's the Arnold Rimmer thesis of that's a reference very few people will get.
Oh, I'm really furrowing my brow. Trying
But if
to...
That
you,
would be. Hang on, no. I know this. It's the BBC space series where they're lost in space and traveling back distant future. Red Dwarf.
yes, Red
Oh,
Dwarf. It's
okay.
a show about the last man left alive in the universe and his hologram friend who was brought back to life to keep him sane. But he is one of the most irritating and detestable people that the man ever knew. And it is theorized that that was keeping him sane, was the constant annoyance and having something to hate. So maybe that's what life is all about. Keeping yourself on the level by finding things to detest and being obsessed with them.
It's working for Kevin Dent. I don't know. You know about Kevin Dent?
Well,
The way you brought that right back around to video games,
Yeah.
you son of a bitch.
You sly devil!
I try. Yeah.
Well, Kevin Dent, of course, famously derailed the Halloween special of Podtoid.
It's true.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He was the man who was calling me all sorts of names, like coward and things. And we get on now, actually. But he is still starting fights with a lot of other people.
It's interesting.
Well, that's his MO, and I've always gotten along with him pretty well too. I think he and I have some similar perspectives on things. It's just he's acerbic and I'm not.
Yeah, his mode of going about getting his point across is different. He's friends with Max, I think, too. He's been on the Podtoid show a few times.
Yeah, I've seen him. He had a fight there with Jesse Dibnick from
right.
EDA. Is he from the game analyst Jesse Dibnick?
Yeah.
Had a fight with him. Since he had his fight with me, had a big fight with the hip hop gamer, and had a big fight with more recently Phil Fish, and probably loads more. Kevin Dent likes to have a fight, likes to have a ruckus. I don't have the energy for big fights online anymore. But fair play to him if that's what he does. I was following both Phil Fish and Kevin Dent when they were fighting, and it was rather funny. Because they're both of that, nature, of that caustic sort of thing. So seeing them two go at it was very fun.
Well, that's what he's done. I thought he and Phil were done with the fight, the public fight on Twitter, which is just, I can't picture doing that for any prolonged period of time. But now on his Twitter profile page, he's literally dedicated to Phil Fish. It's on his profile, just a picture of Phil Fish, the dictionary.
Oh, I've not seen this.
This is new.
I'm checking it out now. Screw the podcast.
Sure, you'll have to describe it when you do, or I'll just keep describing.
Kevin Dent Twitter. I mean, you feel free. You discovered it. You get the holy shit. Go
ahead.
Brilliant.
You can hear me madly typing now.
You see the entire Twitter banner of Kevin Dent, and if you're not familiar with him, his Twitter handle is the Kevin Dent. His whole profile, Twitter banner is tweets from Phil Fish interspersed with the dictionary definition of pretentious.
Oh yeah, somebody circulated this image on a Tumblr, and I got a good chuckle out of it.
Wow. Yeah, he's dedicated to his anti-Phil Fish stance, I guess. Or not? I don't know. It just makes him look creepy. Unless it's some joke that I'm not getting. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
Probably thinks it's very funny.
I would never dream of trying to destroy Phil Fish, he says. He is doing a fantastic job of it himself.
But then why would you do the banner like that?
Out of amusement. It doesn't. No. It doesn't have to be a malicious I'm going to ruin this guy thing so much as look what an asshole this guy is.
Huh.
He's trying to cool down thunder. It looks like, or lightning, I guess. Trying to cool down lightning because he is begging Phil Fish to destroy him. He apparently Phil Fish. I remember this. Phil Fish made an offhand tweet, I think in all caps, for a joke that he was going to destroy Kevin Dent for their fight, and he is now demanding to be destroyed by Phil Fish. This is so. I mean, regardless of what you think of either party, they both have their fans and their detractors. But
sure.
Oh, it's fun. I
think either way, no matter how you feel about either of them, it is very, very funny to see people just. It's like Thunderdome in an odd way. You know, 2 tweets enter, 1 tweet leaves.
Kind of the Italian remake of Thunderdome. You know, from the studios that gave us things like Terminator 2 before the official Terminator 2 was made. And Alien 2, which I have a copy of. Toby Carlson, I think for my birthday, sent me a copy of Alien 2, which is what they do in Italy. I mean, other parts of the world as well, but Italy sort of notoriously is where they will make sequels to films that, don't have them yet and just call them it, even though they're not official. This happened famously with Troll and the movie Troll 2, which has become a cult hit. And there are 2 Troll 3s. Neither of which are actually sequels to Troll 2, just like Troll 2 isn't a sequel to Troll. There are 2 competing Troll 3s with totally different stories, and none of them have trolls, of course.
Well, the one of the trolls from Troll 2 is in the Troll 3 that's like Conan the Barbarian, kind of.
Oh, yeah, they used the costume, didn't they?
Yeah, it's the costume, but it's not a troll. It's like, he is the gatekeeper or something. Don't worry about it. Did you watch Alien 2?
Not yet. I've actually still got it in my office here with me.
I watched it a ton when I was really tired at like age 20. I'd watch it every day. There's this one tracking shot across mud that takes like 2 minutes. It's just mud.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's worth watching. But yeah, Kevin Dent, I'm hoping he's making fun of himself. Like, everyone defined me as that guy that hates Phil Fish. Now I'm going to like live up to that to the point where it's ridiculous and laugh about this fake fight we're having because we don't even really know each other. It's just Twitter. That's what I'm hoping for Kevin Dent, if you're listening, Kevin. That's what I hope you're doing, Kevin.
I don't know. NeoGaf discovered all this. They've not been fond of him, I don't think.
Of Kevin?
Yeah.
That's really something. If public opinion is you're the jerk who's getting in a fight with Phil Fish.
Well, I think he's unfortunately earned himself the reputation of the jerk who gets into fights with everyone.
Right, but at the same time, in his position, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he can get away with being an ass if he wants to. It's not really going to affect his bottom line. If anything, it's going to increase his awareness of who he is, and as an analyst, that pays dividends.
Well, I was going to ask. I don't even know what he does for a job.
He's some sort of consultant and an analyst.
Weird.
But he's helping to develop stuff on a production and in some like mobile categories, but I don't know all the details of his work.
I vaguely remember him being linked to a game that was called like the Fraginator or something, like some really generic like you gonna blow up the faces game. I could be wrong though. I'd have to look him up, which I will not do.
Journalism.
Heck no. I'm out.
Not worth the effort.
That is game journalism.
Yes, it is.
Not worth it. Sorry, phone and publish, not worth it. Like, I actually did some of that. The trouble with good journalism is you always find out the story's not worth running.
Yes.
You do all this work. I spent 2 weeks trying to schedule a call with Ken Levine, and when we finally talked, the story was bunkum and pointless by the time he was done talking, so...
The half-baked stories are the stories.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. Something comes out that is misinterpreted or misinformed, and the options are to do the research and lose the story, or run the story without the research and grow the bigger story.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's part of the reason why I've really dropped out of sort of news rackety stuff.
Yeah,
I was going through the news feed a couple of weeks ago, scrolling through the usual stuff, trailer for such and such, interview with such and such, and I just realized I hate this. I hate everything I'm reading, and I hate the people that wrote it.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, no disrespect, but actually it's not that big a deal because I'm trying to focus on less, daily work, more quality work, which fits in with, the way things are going. So, good stuff, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got a unique skill set that might as well be applied to stuff beyond news. Not the news. I love it when you write news, but
Yeah.
So I can do more Gymquisitions, and if the cost is less news, then that's totally fine with me.
And and we've got Chris Carter. He's young. He's not learned yet, so he's doing fine on the new. Doing actually an excellent job.
Absolutely.
But he will learn.
One day.
Little Pumpy will grow up.
He's not that young, is he?
No.
He's
No,
like in his
he's not.
20s, I think. Yeah.
He could be older than me for all I know.
I think he's in his early 30s. I think
He
he and I are about the same age.
Yeah.
There you go, older than me.
And some news, I don't know if he reported it, but someone else might have, Jim. Were you excited when you heard the news that Strider is back, Jim? Top story. Strider's back. Strider's back, Jim.
I don't dislike Strider. It's a series that I never was exposed to it as a kid or anything. I mean, I was always in Britain. Genesis was very popular, and that's kind of where I was. So
that's where the big Strider port was.
Yeah, that's where the best version of the game. Well, okay, I don't agree with that. I was going to say the best version. It's the most accurate port.
Yeah, but what I was going to say was, I had a Genesis, I had a cartridge with 6 games on it, and that's all I fucking needed.
What games?
I didn't know what other games were. I saw something on TV once about a sleepwalking kid and a cat dog thing that was keeping him from falling in holes. And then I had my cartridge with the 6 things, and then on my birthday, I got Primal Rage once. That's all you needed.
Do you remember what games were on the 6-game cartridge?
Yeah. Sonic 2, Golden Axe, The Revenge of Shinobi,
Oof.
Streets of Rage.
Oh.
Whoa. What's...
These are all quality titles.
Yeah, Sounds of Joy. These are Sounds of Joy.
Oh,
okay.
You sounded angry and upset.
No. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, of course no other games had a chance.
And 2 others couldn't have been good.
Phantasy Star? No, they couldn't.
No, not Phantasy Star.
It's a good
I
game.
remember
One
that
was
6
probably
in
a
one
puzzle
cartridge.
game of some sort. Probably Columns or something.
Yeah, probably.
I think it was Columns, actually. Columns and then
probably.
something else.
Like maybe something in the... Who was that monkey boy again? I'm suddenly forgetting his name. Kid something, right?
Kid...
He's got big ears. Big ears, monkey. He was the
Kid
Sega
Chameleon.
No, Kid
No.
Chameleon... No, that's a totally different game. Great game.
Alex
Alex
Kidd.
Kidd.
Alex Kidd Ninja World. That's a fun game.
There you go. I played some Alex Kidd.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So Strider.
But yeah,
The
Strider was
port
one of
that
those...
I like. The Strider port that I like was the NES one, which is what this sounds more like in terms of structure.
Sure.
Because the original games are pretty much straight linear, level-to-level platforming linear games. They're like arcade games. The original one was arcade, and then they did Strider 2 on the PlayStation 1.
It's even weirder than that, Conrad. I happen to be a Strider expert for some reason. And there was actually a Strider 2 on the Genesis, which nobody...
That's right, there was. And it was awful.
Yes, and then I think Strider NES came in between those two. And it was sort of a reimagining of the idea in the same way that Bionic Commando for the NES was very different.
And that's my favorite. That's my favorite Strider. Because there's exploration and
it's even a funny little story in there about...
Yeah, and it's also got that badass satellite, mercenary satellite that you're on, which is a freaking dragon. It's the best part of the entire game is going into a level.
Yeah.
You just see the dragon, this little bit of light, just pew, as you drop to Earth, and you're like, I am a badass ninja.
The music was really good, too. In that
music was good?
Yeah,
but I don't like Double Helix as a studio. Like, Moondiver was what I would hope, the way they were pimping Moondiver, I should say, made it feel like, oh, hey, Strider, cool, I'm excited about that. And then I played it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that's a way you could do that.
Well, it was like a 4-player Strider with much less action, is the way I remember it.
And fun. There was much less fun in there, too.
Yeah.
It's so weird in a way, because it's kind of like that Castlevania game. Harmony of Dissonance, was it?
Oh, God, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of that. And now we have this Strider that's going even more in a Castlevania direction.
Mhm.
And it just makes me scared.
Sure. Well, Double Helix, from what I've read anyway, is only so involved. They are taking their cues from the directors of Strider 1 and then the PlayStation 1 Strider 2, not to be confused with the Genesis Strider 2. So hopefully they'll get enough money from Capcom to make something good with that, and the Double Helix will, in terms of craftsmen, I don't think they've put out a really buggy or shoddy game that I recall anyway.
Just a pretty dull one.
Yeah, just creatively they've not always been so hot, but they've got someone else in the creative shoes. So hopefully it'll come together. I'm hopeful. To me, Strider 1 is all about, at the time, that was the biggest action movie type set pieces you could get in a game. What really made it stand out is suddenly you're fighting a Russian consulate that just formed a giant robotic caterpillar with a sickle and hammer. And then now you're fighting a giant robotic Donkey Kong, and now you're fighting a robot, and now you're running really fast down there. It was almost the Uncharted of its time, where it was blowing up the set piece beyond what had been done before. And then the Strider for the NES, like you mentioned, it was kind of a cool exploration game, and you felt like a truly badass ninja. Strider 2 for the PlayStation 1, they really upped how cool Strider as a character was, and gave him a lot of abilities, and it was just fun to play as. It just mechanically felt really good. I've replayed that game tons and tons and tons of times. So that has me hopeful for this one. They know what Strider is at this point, and they've seen what works and what doesn't, and they've seen what worked with Shadow Complex and other games of that nature that have done really well. So I hope they take that and run with it. So I'm excited. Yes, I am. Yes.
I am cautiously pessimistic.
Of course you are. And Jim is, are you still looking up Brain Party?
Strudels.
What about him? What'd you find out about him?
I don't know, I was thinking about what the review of the new Strider would be, what the sub-headline would be, for if it was good or if it was bad. Because that's what I do. I try and make the others do it, the other reviewers, but they don't. Probably because they've got more class than me. But I always do a pun in the subheader.
I try to do puns too, but that's just because I really love puns.
They're great. People give it shit. Fuck them. They're great. So for, Dynasty Warriors 8, the subheader was fun shui. Simple, effective, tells the job. So I thought in my head, if the Strider game is bad, it could be wider. As in, why did they make this? Duh. And if it was good, strudels. Just working titles. I probably won't even review it. I do not have the history, as you well know, so someone else will do it. But I would advise them to talk about strudels a lot in the review.
Or wider.
Yeah, that one was awful. Don't do that one.
I would probably do it. I think it's cute. Other things. Should I talk about other things? I've been hogging the show this week. I apologize. But I just wanted to make sure that we have stuff. Because if you guys have come up with other stuff you want to talk about in the meantime, shut me up.
Oh, if it's bad, you can make a joke about how it doesn't have long legs.
Because Strider has long legs?
Striding?
Oh, striding! Stride, yes. Easy Strider. Easy Strider?
That's
Easy
good.
Strider? Oh, that's good. I like that.
I'm sad about it. I wrote about Earthbound, and I can't believe how many people talked about it and cared about it. It's the most looked at thing I've done in quite some time for some reason. I don't know if you guys knew I wrote about Earthbound.
Yeah. People love that Earthbound.
Yeah, they do. They do. And I got up on Saturday, and I was like, we're not going to review Earthbound, I don't think. I drank some coffee and thought, I'm just going to try to write something, and hopefully it'll come out. Normally, I'll plan a feature for a while and try to jot down ideas as the week goes by and try to make sure it's really filled with as many insights and perspectives and opinions as I can. But this, I was just like, I just got to write this quick because this game just came out. It's going to be cold soon, and I want people to know how great it is. So I tried to write about it. And the guy who actually translated the game into English originally, and also came up with a lot of graphical changes for it, so it translated well to the United States culturally. He got in touch with me and was like, "Thanks for writing about my game. That means a lot to me." Nels Anderson of Clay just wrote to me and said, "Oh, great write-up on Earthbound." And it's been really weird to have all these people react so strongly to what I don't think was a very well-written thing I did. It really speaks to how much Earthbound seems to mean to people, whereas the comments were all about, all they cared about was whether it's okay to sell it for $10 or not, which I wanted to get your guys' opinion on it.
That was the big sticking point.
Yeah, the comments were like, okay, article, but anyway. And fair.
If you have a copy of Earthbound and you want to sell it to me for $10, I'll take it. I mean, that's fine. Whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna play it. I'm gonna turn right around and profit. But hey, by all means, if you want to give me a copy of Earthbound for $10, go ahead.
Well, I wonder how much the cartridge alone goes for. I have one of those lying around. I wouldn't imagine it's that much more than like $30, right? Or even those going for a lot.
Well, I think in terms of it being an RPG, and one that is, you know, admittedly, I'm not into it because it's slow. You know, that's just not my scene. But it's well written. It's funny in the bits that I've read about and seen. It seems like an entertaining prospect, and there aren't that many quality RPGs on the market that can say that. So at $10, yeah, it's probably a pretty good price if you've never played it before. I don't see the issue. And if you have played it before and you love it and you want to play it again, what's $10? For Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's just a couple of burgers, really. A couple of poo burgers. How much? When's the last time you played it, Conrad?
Within the last 5 years.
Yeah, I hadn't played it in a while, and I was shocked by how much faster paced it was than I remembered. Like my standards at the time, 10 years ago or whatever, last time I really tried to play through it again, I was like, oh, it takes so long to get from point A to point B. But in this post-Polygon generation where so many games are just walking around the city forever, or, in Zelda Ocarina of Time, you're just walking across that field forever. By those standards, it's practically fast-paced. I've been really impressed. Yeah,
I think it's the menu-based turn combat that I'm just kind of over. And it works, it's functional, I understand the purposes for such things, but like I'm playing so many other games now where even when it's turn-based, there's more interesting shit going on. Than that. Pokemon alone, I mean, you know, that right there sort of, in my mind, sets the standard if you're going to have a text-based, turn-based combat system. And if it's not as good or entertaining or fast-paced as the combat is in Pokemon, fucking forget about it. I'm not interested.
Well, the thing about Earthbound is if you fight a low-level enemy, you just kill it instantly. It doesn't even go into the fight, which is nice. Yeah, and for the most part, the fights aren't as strategic as Pokemon, but they're a little bit faster a lot of the time, at least for me. I just
but they're not that interesting either.
No,
it's,
they're not.
You know, fight and PK.
This is for the most part. Yeah, that's true. I'll go along with that, sir. But anywho, what do you guys think? Should Nintendo have thought, well, it's not costing us that much to put this game back out there because it's just a game we already made. So we should charge a minimal amount for it so more people get to play it. Or should we say this game has a lot of worth? This game is very well made. It never really found its audience. We hope it finds its audience now. And we want to show the world that we don't think this is just a throwaway $3 game. We think this is...
I think it would have been wiser to have not thought this game didn't really have much of a... This game had a loyal but small following. Let's exploit them. I think it would have been wiser to have said this game had a small but loyal following. Maybe we can get a bigger following if we don't charge $10 for it. $10 for an NES game does make me...
Oh, it's SNES.
It's SNES, sorry.
It's $2 more than the average Virtual Console Super Nintendo is.
I think that the alternative is looking at what it's costing the user base to get this game legally now.
Well, that's one argument is that they just looked at what everyone else decided this game was already worth, which is $150, $200 sometimes, and they thought, okay, you have decided that this game is worth more than your average game, and therefore we will charge extra $2.
This game has higher value because of its limited availability.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just a matter of supply and demand in my mind. It makes perfect sense for me to have them charge $2 more for Earthbound than for other shit, because there's clearly enough demand to drive the price up to that extreme, that to sell it then in a digital format for effectively 10% of what you would expect to pay anywhere else, it just seems like a no-brainer to me.
Sure. Well,
at the same time, though, I mean, sure, it's Nintendo's prerogative; they can charge what they like on their store. If people consider that too expensive, I'm not about to shame them for having that decision. I'm not about to get angry for them having that decision. That's fine. I was interested in it. I've played, Earthbound before. Strangely, it didn't cost me anything last time I played it. So that's really driven the price up. But, I played it. It's a cool little game. I was interested at $10. I thought, it made me think a little longer.
Sure.
Than if it had been $5, no question at all, that would have been gotten. If it was the standard, what's it, $8?
$8
generally for SNES. If it was the standard $8, I'd have been more interested. At 10, it's made me think more, because I'm not of the I'll throw $10 on anything kind of thing. I say that even though I've given $25 to a man for a signed photograph. He's possibly going to be wearing a woman's mask and have his penis out. I don't know, but and I did spend $500 on an Alien 3. I am a terrible man.
You spent $500 on an Alien?
Yeah.
Which Alien?
Because I can do that now.
What the fuck?
I can do that now.
Well, that's okay. It's like science. Okay, there's lots of shit science can do.
But why did you? Which Alien was it? Sell me on this purchase you did. Make me think it's a good idea. Please.
I can't.
Was it just an alien? Is it big?
It's pretty big.
Is it, bigger than 2 feet?
Can it fuck you with its mouth? Because that's about where I'm at $500. That's my price point.
Whoa. Oof.
Is there a pneumatic pumping mechanism for the tongue that allows you to just sort of position your ass in front of its face?
Tell a lie. I think it was $300.
That's okay. All right. So now I'm looking at, can I wank it?
Yeah.
That's $300. I need to be able to wank it somehow.
They are. A lot of people try and sell them for $800.
Oh.
So.
I still don't know enough about this alien.
Savings.
I can't even imagine it. How big is it?
So in terms of Earthbound, the $10 game that I'm having to consider whether I buy it or not, it's pretty good markdown.
Yeah. Well, I think that my guess is Nintendo wasn't thinking we want to make sure more people play Earthbound. I think they were thinking, sadly, let's test.
Oh, I don't think they were. I don't think they were. It would have been nice if they were.
Yeah, absolutely. But instead, they seemed to. I'm guessing this is also an overly optimistic guess. I think, but I'm hoping / guessing that they were like, let's see if this Earthbound thing will sell at $10. Because if it does, then we could feasibly make other games or even localize other games in the series and sell them for the amount that we'd have to in order to deal with those costs and put them out there and find an audience for them. So it's more of a testing the waters. Are people willing? Is a new audience willing to buy Earthbound for $10? Because if so, then we'll make more. And if they don't, then not.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Either that or they're just trying to milk the loyal fans dry of, some small amount of money that doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Really.
But I mean, here's the thing. I just think if $10 is too much for you, that's fine. You are the consumer. It is your job to do what you will with your money. If you want to buy an Alien 3 for $300, you should be able to do that, and no one should judge you.
What? Tell me
Ever.
about the story, please. Why
Ever.
won't you tell me?
I'm still talking about Earthbound. And if you want to spend $10 on Earthbound, that also is fine.
Oh, sure.
Have fun with it. I'm really happy for fans. And I do, intend to... I want it on the 3DS. That's my thing. I see most of the time now I see an RPG and whether it's old or new, and all I'm thinking of is I want it on the Vita or 3DS at this point.
Well, I've been playing it mostly off TV.
Oh, you can do that, can't you, with the gamepad? Yeah.
Yeah, you can. So that's good. The sound, for some reason, isn't that hot on Earthbound.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you want to play it on a shitty screen for 2 hours, if you're lucky, with bad sound, do it on the gamepad.
With the earphones, it's not bad, of course. So I've been doing that. But yeah, I don't know why the sound is so bad on the gamepad for Earthbound in particular.
I like the gamepad, by the way, even though I just trashed it. I like the gamepad as in its supplementary role. I'm not a fan of it for off-TV play. I don't find it very attractive for off-TV play.
Well, it's tough to compete with the Vita overall.
True. Or even the 3DS. I prefer the 3DS if I'm going to play portable, which I'm doing at the moment to play Mario and Luigi Dream Team.
Oh, you're doing that?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's a Mario and Luigi game.
Yeah.
You know what it's like, Nintendo have a new game out and you just say it is a name IP here game. And that's what it is.
Yeah, it's the fourth one, I think, right?
You're hitting Mario with a hammer to make him small. You're, timing your jumps to hit the things. Picking up beans. Grow your mustache.
Are you in Luigi's subconscious yet during his dreams? Because that's what I've heard makes it fun. All the Luigi parts, or that is to say, all the in Luigi parts, I've heard are really good.
It's interesting. I can't really talk much more than this. Embargoes and whatnot. So I can only really... I don't think I'm breaking embargo to say you hit Mario with a hammer and he gets small. Because I think if you buy a Mario and Luigi game and you're shocked by that at that point, what have you been playing? So, but it's... I'm not having a bad time. To be as vague as I possibly can. I've got a fondness for the Mario and Luigi games, certainly.
Yeah, they're almost always very well done. There's parts of each one I'm usually a little but the first one particularly I still really like. I think Superstar Song it's called. I have to review a game. Hopefully I'll review it tonight. I would have gotten it done sooner, but I accidentally erased my save file and had to start over. It's called Attack of the Friday Monsters, A Tokyo Tale. That's pretty good.
That's a good name.
Yeah, it is. It's a long, weird name that's totally unmarketable, and I don't think anyone's going to buy it. And I love it, but it's going to be a tough review to write because you can love something but also know that it's got things that are wrong that will make people not love it. If you don't want to just look at nice watercolors of Tokyo and hear good music and watch fourth graders get in arguments, you might not like this game.
I always worry with a game, especially a game with a name like that. And I actually talked about this on one of my really early escapist Jimquisitions, where they think just being weird's going to be enough for them. We're going to call it, what was it? Friday Monsters Are Eating My Cats Today.
Pretty close. Attack of the Friday Monsters, A Tokyo Tale.
Yeah. They do that, and then they'll make the game wacky, and then they don't worry so much about making the game actually good or fun to play or interesting. Whenever I see and I'm a big fan of a well-named game. That's how a lot of the time my attention is gotten. I discovered Among the Sleep because of that name, and I think Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs is one of the best names ever. I'm a big fan of game names in general. But when it gets like that, the long drawn out ones, my cynicism kicks in, and I think they're just going to try and be cute and not do much. And that's a big bugbear of mine. Typified in a game like, say, Cargo, The Quest for Gravity, which gives you this amazing world. It's a PC indie game. This amazing world. You're on an island full of these little, tiny, fat, short, naked, bald men who sing songs and dance, and you have to kick them, and they love it. You kick them around the island, and that makes them really happy, and then you suck the joy out of them, and you can use that joy to spend on things and build things like in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. And there are 2 big tiki masks that fly around the island on metal rails, and one of them acts like God and one of them acts like the devil, but they seem to do nothing but criticize. And it's weird and a joy in that weirdness, but doesn't do anything beyond that. Like, it gives you this amazing world, like Nobi Nobi Boy, like we talked about before. An amazing world where everyone in it seems to be having way more fun than you, because you can't interact with it so much. Which has nothing to do with your game. I'm sorry, I just went off on one of my tangents.
No, it does. And this, as my boss, as my reviews editing boss, I'll just live on Podtoid for people to listen to, ask you how you think I should go about looking at this score-wise, because the game's mechanics are there to express the overarching idea of the game. That the same thing, the graphics, the music, the story, they are all there to give you like a really sweet, cute, uneventful time that makes you feel like you're in 4th grade again, and kind of in this place in life where you have an idea of what reality is, but you're just coming to understand what is possible and what isn't in real life, and also coming to understand that other people have like real problems. Like, you're seeing your parents fight, and you're actually like aware, like, wow, my dad has self-esteem issues, my mom is kind of a jerk, and it's just kind of a opening up of that awareness. Everything in the game, including the kind of sparse gameplay, is true to that idea. But I just don't know if people are gonna feel like there's enough there for them to enjoy, and it's over.
Well, I mean, the review isn't about them.
It's about me.
I mean, it's about obviously writing it well for them to enjoy reading it. You know,
Sure.
That bit's about them, but the opinion of the game is all about you, my friend.
Right.
And I always say, write the review first and don't think about the number, and then read the review, and then look at the review scores and what they mean on the Destructoid scale, and see which the sort of the general feeling you get from the tone of your text and the words you use, and how that lines up on the old numbers. There, Jonathan.
That was good. Reminder. I appreciate it.
Reminder of what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's really all it's about. It's reading your thing and being like, that's that thing.
Yeah, I can't stop playing Dynasty Warriors 8. I reviewed it, still doing it. I started unlocking the secret story modes. It's too good.
And what do you love about it?
It's so good. Press the buttons and you hit the guys with the thing.
Feels good to be there doing that.
It does feel good to be there doing that.
You should keep doing that. You should.
I started doing the hypothetical routes, because all the stories are based very loosely on Chinese history, and the story mode sort of takes you through the history of each of the 4 kingdoms, each of the 4 factions, and you end it and think, well, that was a thing. But several levels in each kingdom's campaign have secret objectives, star objectives, that you complete by doing specific tasks. Sometimes they're very difficult, sometimes they're easy, and they can open up new levels, and if you do them all, you get to a certain point where you can branch off from the historical story or a hypothetical what-if story, and you play that level with the hypothetical conditions if you've done everything, and then everything you've done in the past levels kind of come together in that level. Like the guys you rescued and stopped from being killed when historically they should have been killed. And then that affects the battle. And it all stacks up like a big gambit and then happens. And it's awesome. And then you open the hypothetical route and they start playing music from all the other older Dynasty Warriors games, but all remixed. And I play it and I say, yes! Yes!
That sounds so perfect for you. It's like an extra game in your game, like such a.
Every dream.
That's great. You should just enjoy your life and think about that whole butt bump thing. Because think about that. That'll be good too. That'll be like the hypothetical come to life, truly, in your life. And you'll always know that it was real. Just like that time you saved those guys from getting killed by the other guys, and then they came back in the battle, and then the music from Dynasty Warriors 3 played. That was great.
And then I went, yes!
It's fun to picture you doing that. It is. I was picturing you playing every character in Action Jackson. I wanted to remake it. You know I have these ideas every once in a while that just come to me.
Yeah.
This time it was Action Jackson. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I know the name.
It's a special movie. It was right on the cusp in between 70s blaxploitation like Shaft and Dolomite and 90s not so much exploitation but well, I think it was exploitation actually. There came a time when there was too many movies about gangster life in Compton in the 90s and early 2000s where it was just exploiting that too. So it was in between like I'm a badass man on the streets and I am a black man and I am Ice Cube and I am in a street gang and my life is hard and dangerous but also somehow glamorous to the suburban white youth. It was right in between that. And it was Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, wearing a stylish suit, carrying a gun, romancing both Vanity from Vanity 6, a protege of Prince, I believe, and Sharon Stone. Ugh. Can you picture having it nicer than that? And then the guy from Coach, who played Coach on the Coach, and he was also the dad in Poltergeist is there, and he's very rich, and he's a jerk. And he's like, Sharon Stone, fetch my olives. And she's like, oh, I can't do that, sir. I don't think any of that happens, but you get the idea. Jim, picture you playing all those characters.
Wow, that would come across as really racist.
What? How so?
How couldn't it?
You would be Action Jackson with a mustache, and we wouldn't have to make you look like you were a black man, but we could, because why not?
That could go either way. If I did it white, that could be considered offensive, and if I blackfaced,
That will definitely
let's
be
say
considered.
it. Yeah, let's use the word. We might as well. That would definitely. Because either I'm whitewashing or I'm blackfacing, Jonathan.
Yeah,
There's
true.
no way this will go well.
I wouldn't be offended, therefore. Period. Exclamation point, even.
Well, then let's do it. Let's kickstart that as well. Let's make that one of the stretch goals on the butt bump Kickstarter. If you get high enough, we will remake Action Jackson, but way more racist.
Or not, because I don't think so.
Yeah,
We'll set two different stretch goals. You know, one where we do it, you know, we whitewash it, and then a higher one where we have you in the blackface.
Sure.
And Action Jackson, the quasi-black guy we know, doesn't find it offensive edition.
You'd also have to be Vanity, who is a light brown, sexy woman in black lingerie. And there's this great scene.
No, that's you. That's your role.
No, I'm not in it at all. Jim's playing every character and not getting any of the money. And he's
Stretch
dancing.
goal.
Of course not. No.
No. We're taking it back. So you're dancing as Vanity. Yeah, you'd have to watch it, but you're so sexy towards yourself. And then you, as Vanity, is just like wants it from Carl Weathers so bad. And then Carl Weathers just gives this look where he just like puts his head out forward a tiny bit and frowns a tiny bit. And that's when you know he's going to do it. Like that's the moment he's decided, I'm going to have sex with Vanity. Having you do that with you, it would be fun to watch. I'd watch it.
I do that anyway in real life. Just before I go and do something disgraceful to myself, I will look in the mirror and just lean forward slightly and just furrow my brow a little bit, and then I know it's time for the horrendous activities to unfold.
Oh, that's fun to think about. I should do the questions.
Yeah.
Because I have talked a ton this week. I'm sorry. Maybe it's the Coca-Cola. Podtoid questions. I was really overtired today, so I maybe overcompensated with the amount of Coca-Cola I drank at lunch. Though I didn't mean to talk over you, gentlemen. If there was stuff that you wanted to get into.
No, that's fine. Like I said, I don't know what it is. This week I'm running a bit dry on ideas, so in all sorts of things. So,
It's the time for your Warriors, I think. This time
it
for
might be
you're recharging with Lou Blue. Is that how you say his name?
Lube Blue.
Lou Blue? Lou Blue Blue?
Yeah, Lube Blue.
Oh, Holmes, I played a bit of that Mercenary Kings you sent over.
Oh yeah? How's that going?
It's a thing.
People
I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. Like, really.
I have heard that pretty consistently, that nobody complains about the character animation. Some people say the backgrounds are a little sparse. But in terms of giving you fun moments per second, some people are saying it gets a little dried out after the first, even like hour or so. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah?
Well, there are a lot. Like, I've had half a dozen people now compare it to Metal Slug. Just based on the trailer and so forth. And it's not like Metal Slug. You can just put that out of your memory. The only things they have in common is that they both have really cool-looking animated characters, and you shoot guns.
Right.
And there's a knife. But that's it. Like, whereas Metal Slug is this totally linear, stage-to-stage progression. This has a few different stage designs that have different missions you can select from on a menu, and then you'll go to a place and do that mission. Then you might revisit that place later on another mission. There's like 3 or 4 for each of those. So it's a lot of going through the same area over and over again, which can be tedious for some people, I think.
Sure.
The missions all have time limits, and some of them, like there's one where you're supposed to kill 8 snipers, and the area is big enough between all of the sort of interconnected levels in this. It's kind of an open world in the sense that, like, Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest is an open world. There are regions to travel through, and then this hub camp. And then you finish your missions, then you come back and you spend money and resources that you've collected to build gun parts and new knives. And I'm almost through the first ranking, and there's like 12 rankings, and each one of them I expect to have a similar number of these very similar kinds of mission arrangements and so forth.
Well, how's the multiplayer factor into things? Is that spikes it up?
That's what I haven't tried yet. I'm hoping that sort of salvages the experience for me, because it's not that I don't like it or recognize that it has fun elements to it. Mm-hmm. It's that I sort of feel almost as though I've experienced most of the fun I'm going to have in this game already.
Gotcha.
And while new ranking levels with new missions and such will probably introduce some really interesting enemies and cool bosses. The effort that's going to be required to get through to see all that content, I don't expect I'm going to be up for it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, if it's like you've already seen the whole game, or if it's like there's more good game to come, but the fact that you have to essentially have the feeling of backtracking anyway in order to get to it, whether it just doesn't feel 100% worth it, and whether they should try to... I mean, I could email the developers and say, what you might want to do is just take all of your stuff and condense it into a shorter experience for the people that just want to run through all the cool stuff you made, and then have the larger campaign for the people that want that, because otherwise...
It would be cool if there were some sort of like a boss rush mode.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe there is one and I just don't know it exists. But like a straight up one level shot where you go through all of the boss encounters one after another could be more enjoyable to me, I think.
Sure.
But then, are you ruining your campaign mode by making that available to unlock early?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, that is a tough one. I'll talk to him about it.
I don't know. That's something you need to talk to him about it. I think that there is an audience for this, and that there are people who are really going to dig into it and think it's super cool and try out every configuration of weaponry. That's the other thing. Like, the options for crafting this early in the game, I realize that I'm at the first ranking of maybe a dozen or whatever. But I've already done 10 missions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing most of the same shit in there to buy. And I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not really... It's just, there's too much game, I think.
Huh, interesting. They have been very quick to tell me that it's only like 60% done.
Oh
There's
my god.
a lot left to do. But that includes like tweaking, rebalancing, shortening. I can just drop him. I like the guy a lot. His name is also Jonathan, and he made Wizorb, and he worked on Scott Pilgrim. He's made a lot of games that I've really liked. So
I think it would be really one practical way to approach that sort of thing is like these things have mission types. Right now, it's like, you know, find and kill this guy, or rescue hostages, or, you know, go scavenge supplies, those sorts of things. And those are all great. I'd rather they were just... They also have optional objectives for all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish some of the missions were just optional objectives in other missions. Like, hey, while you're here, if you kill the 8 snipers, you'll get this. Cool. I'm fine. That's fine, but don't make me go in there and hunt down the one dude and then make me come back and kill 8 snipers.
Absolutely. Well, that's one of the things when I wrote about Animal Crossing not that long ago. I don't think I put this across as well as I wished, but if Animal Crossing, if every time I turned that on, they're like, you have to catch 20 fish, I'd be like, I'm never playing this game again. But because I decide for myself, like, oh, I want to see if I can catch 20 fish, it becomes less like being at a boring job and more like going on your own and having your own sense of autonomy and experiment in ways that you want to. So maybe if they directed you less to do that kind of stuff.
Well, and in the same way, I'm kind of the asshole here because you have a mission select and you could just choose not to do those missions. And if you needed resources, you could just replay missions you liked to get resources.
Yeah,
to
but
do
you
the
don't.
other things that you wanted to do.
But then that's grinding. That's no. I mean, it would be nicer if that stuff came as like a surprise and or something that you chose to experiment to see. Like, I wonder what happens when I do Blanca thing. You know, if I kill those 8 snipers in that amount of time, and then oh my god, a thing happened because of that. To give you a sense of discovery instead of being told top down, like you need to go do this thing.
What the fuck are you all talking about?
Game design. I'm sorry. This is not what people like about Podtoid.
It's a new game coming from Tribute Games. It's on Steam Greenlight, right? Or is it confirmed coming to Steam?
Early access now.
It's on Steam Early Access now. That's right.
Yeah.
And basically, it's a 2D platform shooter with an open-ish world and mission objectives. I guess is the best way to put it. And the art is Paul Robertson. Is that his name?
Yeah, that's right. Paul Robertson.
Yeah. So it's gorgeous. And kind of funny and goofy and bloody. And, I mean, it definitely makes an impact visually.
Right.
And musically, for that matter.
I just felt like interrupting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have. We were really on a tear.
Yeah, we were on a tear there. Yep.
I got very distracted because, against my best judgment, I sometimes come into the Podtoid fan Facebook. Regularly, I do. Actually.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling every time you guys bring up Transformers.
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue.
We don't talk about it. We talked about it a bit last week.
Well, that's what I was saying. You know, people were like, Connor was so quiet last week. And I was like, well, you know what? They talked about Transformers for 25 minutes. I got nothing.
The point is, you're a fool. Don't get me started on Transformers.
Exactly.
I can't.
So are there questions actually now?
Oh, well, I just wanted to say, looking at the Podtoid Facebook group, they're talking about dating each other now.
Okay, it's just getting strange.
It's getting very weird in there.
Listen, guys, don't dip your pen in the company ink.
Well, here's the thing. I'm caught between two extremes. I don't know whether it's a bad idea that they would start dating and fucking each other and producing all kinds of twisted hellspawn, or whether it's a good idea to keep them secluded and breeding amongst
So it's sort of like the Royals.
Yeah, just keep them to their own, and eventually the gene pool will degenerate to where, like, just like half-formed octopuses are coming out.
Jim, you live in the South, so you're not wholly unfamiliar with the effects of this.
True.
It's already required hundreds of years to reach this state.
And they're still not sterile
working at
yet.
it. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. So that might be a long-term plan. That
yeah, it might be better to just spread and thin the genes out, so that the shattered will kind of water down. Or it could spread. It's such a risk. We are playing with science here.
Oh, but doesn't it make you feel like a god?
Very much so. Just having the shattered, just the fact they're listening to this now and probably think that what we're saying is brilliant, fills me with the kind of narcissistic delight that I think only godhood could achieve. Yes.
Speaking of which, one of the questions from Pazuzu Plus, formerly Slow Homes, now Pazuzu Plus. Wonder why he changed that. His question is, seeing as only one member of the cast isn't het, which I believe he means you, Jim, but I'm not sure. And I don't know, isn't het, I think heterosexual?
Oh,
and I think he's talking about Podtoid. I'm not certain. I'll just read the question.
That's bullshit! Everybody knows Freaky Constantina goes every which way but loose. And sometimes even loose.
I'm pretty sure Freaky Constantina's fairly loose.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Freaky Constantina is up down! Freaky! That's what I'm pretty sure of.
What'd you say? That's no,
it goes da 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 da.
Oh, that's
da 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 da. Freaky Constantina is not hot! Not hot!
I'm vaguely remembering someone. I'm sorry I don't remember it better. Someone made a really beautiful animated sprite of you and Freaky Constantina. Can't believe they worked that hard. It had like lasers and stuff. So well done. Why did you do that?
I love that you're Freaky Constantina.
I am not.
And at PAX, I want you to dance to Usher's Yeah. I'll dance with you.
It's stretch. That is beyond the testicle stretch goal. That is beyond the brain part stretch goal. That would take a lot of money to do that. Yes, it would. So Pazuzu Plus asks, seeing as only one member of the cast isn't het, what's it to make a podcast for a fan base largely made of queer teen boys? And I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either, but that's fine. I don't really care who the audience is if they're interested in listening to what I have to say. You could all be rapists and murderers. This is for my ego.
Well, I mean, we do have a lot of sort of queer listeners, be they bi or gay or trans. We've got a lot of several trans listeners. I did realize this because I started up one of those form springy things again. I think Ask FM now. It's again pure ego. People ask you questions, you talk about yourself, which is great for me. It's my perfect site. But a lot of people, not just people talking about sexuality and stuff on there, which I found been finding it very interesting and fun to talk about all that stuff. But a lot of people saying Podtoid itself has made them very, not confused, but very introspective and reassessing their own sexuality.
Really?
Which
is that a public service?
It's public. Whether we're the right people. But then again, if you did have some latent feelings and it took Podtoid to dredge them out of you, happy to be there.
Yes,
you're happy to be there. Happy to be there. Happy to help you in any way you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not something I ever really... I mean, I just don't think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think that people would be use us as a barometer for that kind of thing. But apparently, some people said... Because I thought someone was joking when they said it, and another guy was like, no, definitely been reassessing and stuff. So, cool.
Well, I think that's really kind of interesting. I don't know. It's not that I don't have an interest in the demographics, in knowing the kinds of demographics that listen to. I just always assume that within any group of people, when it gets large enough, all kinds are in there. no matter what it is.
Well, I mean, it becomes a chicken egg thing because I don't know whether this person's basing that on sorry, I say this person, Slow Homes. Not like I don't know the
Pazuzu Plus.
Yeah. So, sorry, what are they called now?
Pazuzu Plus.
Pazuzu Plus. That's a great name. I don't know whether it's that we attracted, a lot of queer teen boys, or whether they are teen boys who are now just playing along so much that they've just become queer. and reality and the joke have kind of become blurred, because those things can happen.
The Goebbels effect.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's real and what's not anymore on this show. I don't know whether Freaky Constantina is a joke or a real entity, possibly a religious figure. It's chicken egg, you just don't know. How many people are just playing along, how many people are genuinely sort of, So, who knows? Doesn't matter. If that is the case, I am pleased.
Yes. I'm more curious about turning the question around and asking queer teen boys why they listen to Podtoid out of all the things they can do. I don't know what it is about Podtoid. I would like to know, though. I would be interested to find out.
But this is for the people on the Facebook group. If you are a queer teen boy, or
or just playing at one,
yeah,
or you'd like to be. Yeah.
Is there something about Podtoid that interests you from that perspective? And if so, tell us why. I'm actually quite interested in that.
Me too. Furthermore, Pazuzu Plus recently told me that his favorite thing I've ever done is Sundays with Sagat, which I did a long time ago and didn't try. The only thing I tried was I did try to look a little bit like Sagat, but I didn't try very hard. I drew the scar on with brown lipstick that I bought at CVS. So I've tried much harder on things since then. So for him to say that, it's like, what was it about that? Is it because I was just a shirtless man? And his response was, my interest in you is 75% platonic. Saying that, which was, it's funny that he's worked out that math.
That is good.
It's weird. Yeah, this internet future we're on. It's a weird place because, teenage boys hitting on 36-year-old men is not what used to happen. I don't think society has...
No, it used to be the other way around on the internet.
It is very much, it used to be, this 36-year-old man is preying on teen boys. Not the case. And having
quite the contrary.
Be careful the way you phrase that. That could be easily isolated and taken out of context, what you just said. Well, be careful you don't start sounding like Humbert Humbert.
Who's Humbert Humbert?
Never you mind.
Well, all right. Well, tell me if I'm getting away with this then. In the past...
That's something Humbert Humbert would have said.
Having been a teen boy in the past, I remember fantasizing about 30-year-old women, thinking, that would be great to go on a sexy date with her. But it could never happen. There was no internet outlet for me to try to do that. And if I were to do that, it would be pretty hard to turn that around on a 30-year-old woman unless she acted on it. But these days, when a 14-year-old boy starts telling me that he wants to pluck my hairs and turn them into a fake mustache for him to wear while he then kisses my butt and makes my butt hair mustache rub against my own butt. I don't know. I don't want to block these guys because it's very flattering and nice, but it could also end up making me look like some sort of weird sex guy with teen boys. Not how I want to look.
I don't know.
It's not a good look.
Not that good of a look for me. Me, personally. For other people, that's fine. Anyway.
For other people, it's totally fine to prey on teenage...
or to be preyed on, I guess. They're preying.
Or to give the appearance that they're preying on teens.
That'll be fine. Yeah. That won't come back to bite them.
What is this conversation now?
I know, I'm sorry. Adam Owen asks, for all of us, if you could be a voice actor in any game, which game would you choose?
No, any game.
Any game.
No, I know. That's the answer. Any game.
Yeah, I think any game would be good. Although, that said, I will be providing, if it all goes through, as I've said before, some voices on Jazz Punk,
Oh, that's right.
the upcoming game by Louis Hernandez. Looking forward to doing that. If I could choose, I don't know, it's a toss-up between Dynasty Warriors and Killzone.
I picture you doing a really good Kirby voice, though. Like all the Kirby voices.
I couldn't do Kirby voices.
Oh, that would be fun. You could be a new character.
Because I would do it still as a Killzone character. DDD, come over here, I'm gonna fucking suck you off.
No one would be opposed to that. That would go over very well.
It would work with the American boxer.
Mm.
I'm gonna fuck you over something rotten, son. I'm Kirby. You're having a laugh, ain't you fucking prick?
Whoa, Sam
I'll
Dog.
get my dad round here. My dad fought in a war and he'll kick your fucking arsehole, son.
Sam Dog. Sam Dog?
Yeah.
Sam Dog wants a Mercenary Kings code. Alright, I'll send you one. I have a couple. Alright. No one's ever done that before. What a bold move. They won't mind. Everyone go play.
That's never going to work again, by the way.
No, that I only have
Don't
one.
bother.
Yeah.
So
And
that's-
it will never work with me.
No.
So let's just put that out there now.
I just happen to have
Yep.
one.
Yeah.
Pin in that and move on.
Yes. Austin Ivansmith,
Uh-oh.
director of DuckTales Remastered, who listens to the show for some reason.
Oh,
Thank you,
God.
Austin. Yes.
You
he's,
always get, once you find out some professional or other listens, you just get that slight twinge of shame. I get a slight, not enough, but a slight one.
He enjoys it. He's told me. I saw him at E3. He made a special trip out to say hi. I was so flattered, and I was really sick at the time, so I sounded terrible, and he was so nice. I like Austin a lot. Anyway, he asks what our take is on the Castle Doctrine hubbub around the internet today. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. Have you heard about it?
Yeah.
I read a little bit about it. Give an overview, just...
Yeah, I read the developer's response to it.
Yeah, that's what I read also.
Yeah.
Jason Rowers?
Yeah, he did a really good job of selling the game to me.
Really?
I'd never really heard of it until then, but it sounds like he's doing this interesting sort of examination of male gender roles, which I guess people would say there's enough male-focused stuff, but kind of subversive way he's doing it makes me quite interested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for those that don't know, Castle Doctrine is a game where you are a male, I believe a white male, and you're defending your wife and child from your house with traps, kind of in the style of Deception, except it's nothing like that in terms of how it looks and actually plays. But the theme is, like, protect your wife and child and your stuff. Protect your money and your belongings. And from what I've read anyway, this was all kind of triggered by him moving to a new part of the United States where he felt much more threatened than he used to, and he just felt these instincts to like protect his wife and kid and his things from other people, and like violent urges towards people that might threaten him. And he decided to funnel that sensation into a game, but a lot of people have been really pissed off at him for making the game, and more so for what he said about making the game, which is that, this is something he wanted to explore as opposed to, it's not something he's making a critical comment on right out the bat. He's not saying men shouldn't act like this, people shouldn't act like this. Some people think he's actually encouraging people to be violent and protective of their family as though their family are possessions, and to kill anyone that like goes in their house. They're calling him a future serial killer. They're freaking out on him pretty hard. And I haven't heard his response to that. I'm curious about that.
I said his response made it like framed it, and I could be wrong. He could be selling it differently to how it is. But the way he wrote about it made me quite interested in it as an examination of, very old-fashioned or overly enforced gender roles in that way. So, like I said, that's what I took from his explanation of it. I could be wrong. The game itself could not be anything like that. It's definitely one of those things I want to play first before I call someone a future serial killer.
Well, that's the thing. So many of the people criticizing him are saying, I will not play this game and here is why. So they're not criticizing the game. They're criticizing what he has said went into making the game. And I don't know enough about it, but now I'm more curious than ever to play it, and I have the feeling that that's more or less what's going to happen from this. I highly doubt this is going to hurt sales of the game when so many people are saying don't play it, because that makes you pretty darn curious. And it's pretty cheap, too. I think it's like $10. For people who don't know, Jason Rohrer made Passage and Death Asleep and a bunch of other games. Diamond Trust in London is a game he put out on DS through Kickstarter, I believe.
He did Passage.
Yep, he did Passage.
Oh, okay.
I love Diamond Trust of London.
Right, but
Like,
you don't love Passage as much, I bet.
No, I thought it was fine. Like when it came out, I managed to play it just in that narrow window of time where people were saying, "Wow, this is really novel," before they turned around and said, "God, this is pretentious shit." So I got to go in. It was like a 2-hour period, but I squeezed in there. And got to play it, and I thought it was, it wasn't like super deep. I didn't feel it was a terribly overwrought thing. I just thought it was kind of clever and interesting.
You missed the other stage. Just after the this is novel, but just before the this is pretentious, which is the stage I came in, which was where everybody was saying it made them cry.
Oh my god.
I came in at this game made me cry, and now I weep for the human condition stage. And then I played it with that in my head. So now whenever anyone mentions Passage, I just, in my head, just goes, Passage? Passage? Oh, Passage. Oh.
Yeah, I feel badly for him. He didn't plan on it getting that kind of kudos, which I don't think he thinks it deserved it, from what I've heard. He's like, yeah, I made Passage. I just tried to make a video game, guys. No big deal. But other people did treat it like it was the second coming, which then made even more people treat it like
Well, I think I've learned they're going to ascribe meaning to anything. And the vaguer it is, the more meaning they're going to ascribe. And I've been learning this as I've been doing Poetry Rhyme Down, the show I do with Yahtzee. Where, first of all, Yahtzee does do very, very good metaphorical poems. He'll start... His style is to present an idea and then, an allegory and a story that makes more and more sense before he reaches the end, and then you realise what game he's talking about or whatever. Mine were usually a lot more straightforward. He was going down the purple prose, I was going down the beige prose, sort of him very eloquent, me very sledgehammer. And that was working for a while, but I got really sick of people turning it into a competition when it wasn't, and even more sick as a narcissist of people saying every week that Yahtzee was beating my ass because they liked all his sort of metaphorical things and stuff, and didn't like my straightforward approach. So I decided to give up intellectually and start just doing poems about Matt Borealis. And start doing poems about watching pornography with Miltank, the Pokemon. And the new one I did, which was about me going around to Mario's house and accusing him of sleeping with my wife and then pushing him down the stairs. And it seems the more vague, or really just the stupider and weirder I get for my own amusement, the more meaning people try and ascribe to that. What's he talking about this week? What's his theme? What am I missing? I need to see what the clever bit is.
People are so dumb.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're all facing the fact that maybe everything is meaningless, so people are desperate to get that feeling.
And I mean all of us. I don't just mean those people. I mean all of us.
Yeah, all people.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah. I saw, having gone to art school for a few years, I saw the transformation from a guy who first year is like, oh, I'm going to be a technical dynamo and I'm going to get the craft down, to the bewildered, like, second, third year student, like, I'm just not talented enough. I'm never going to get there. To the fourth year student that was like, this is Washington. And then they just point to some twigs and, a coffee cup turned upside down with a tampon in it, and then I wrote a 18-page thesis on it, so give me money. And they did give him money. thousands and thousands of dollars for an artist grant to just make more twig coffee cup tampon art. It is
Amazing.
because it made them feel like life wasn't meaningless, even though it still is. He just tricked them. Yeah. Anyway, jeez. You want to do more questions? We're almost at 2 hours.
Let's do another question or few.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try to make them. A lot of people are talking about the bare butt thing. They want to know more, but we've already talked about that. Jim, who is the best character on Dynasty Warriors 8, in your ever so humble opinion? That is from RJS Turpin.
Well, the best Dynasty Warriors character ever, always, is Zhang He. Zhang He is the best character always, because he is like Vega, but he has got 2 claws.
Whoa, he sounds pretty cool. He's like Wolverine, kind of.
No, it's definitely like Vega.
Okay.
Because he does all the... He's like just flamboyant and camp and everything.
But with claws.
But with the claws, like he's got like the Vega arm sort of claws. Like weapons.
Sounds cool.
If we're talking specific, the new moveset they gave Zhugadan is awesome. He's got like a nightstick now and throws people about and twists their arm around and punches them in the back of the head. And I go, yes! Yes!
That sounds pretty good.
That's what I do, Jonathan Holmes.
I bet you do. I should do it too. I could really enjoy it. Though hopefully I'll be playing Pikmin 3 soon.
Hurry the fuck up! Hurry the fuck up, my dinner's arrived.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hurry
Pikmin
the
3
fuck
still
up.
hasn't come. Pikmin 3 hasn't come yet.
Hurry up.
Just letting you know.
I'll find out what's up there. That's
All right.
concerning.
Yeah, I'm sad it hasn't come yet. Because it comes out for real in like, what, 3 days or something?
Yeah.
David North, last question. David North. He's at David North Art on Twitter. He's a great guy. He said, if you were in a Pac-Man style game, what would you collect and what would you avoid? I would collect sleep, I guess, and I would avoid work. I guess that's true of so many people, though. I feel so under-rested and overworked between day job and all these other things in life. How about you guys?
I would, first of all, my little Pac-Man guy would be a big screaming skull, and it'd just be going, ah! Like that, and I'd be picking up smaller little screaming skulls, and they're all screaming at a different pitch, so they're all going, no, like that, and I'm being chased and trying to avoid other screaming skulls. They look evil, and they're just going, and the whole thing's constantly screaming.
Wow. That'd be a lot of different audio channels. What would this game be called?
Pac-Man Scream, Screamy, Scream.
So it is a sanctioned canon Pac-Man sequel.
Yes,
like Pac
it's
and Pow.
the long-awaited canonical follow-up to Pac-Man. A direct sequel to the first Pac-Man. Pac-Man Screamy, Screamy, Scream, Scream, Scream.
That wouldn't be that hard to make. I challenge someone who listens to this show to just make that, please. And will you let them make money off of it, Jim?
I will.
Yes.
Did you ever play Pac-Man, the 3D Pac-Man that a guy did and put on the internet?
I don't think so.
It's played from a first-person perspective, first-person Pac-Man.
Uh-huh.
And they put scary music on it and gave it some rudimentary 3D graphics. And so the ghosts are following you and you can't see them.
Oh.
Until they turn the corner and come after you, and then the music gets really scary, and they basically turn it into a horror game.
Sounds amazing.
It's really good.
Sounds awesome.
I think it's literally called First Person Pac-Man, if you want to track that down.
I will check that out for sure. Conrad, any answer to the Pac-Man question?
Oh, yeah. The maze would be empty, except for power pellets, which would just be cups of coffee.
Would anything be coming after you?
Oh, probably. But all of my fears, there's no like personification for them. It's just dread, like unemployment. How do you depict unemployment? How do you depict being broke? How do you depict asking your parents for money? Those are the things. How do you depict a dead baby in a crib? Those are the things.
You could go literal with that last one.
Actually, yeah, you probably could.
Just like cribs with demon legs that are laughing.
No, it's just a crib with like little smell lines coming off of it.
Smell from the dead body.
Right, from the decaying baby corpse.
See, I was imagining a crib, but like a rib cage for bars. And the baby's just bouncing around, flopping about with ragdoll physics inside of it. And it's galloping with a big tongue waving about, going, ah, I'm glad it's dead.
But that's the meanest crib. That is such a...
The crib cage.
Cribbed like ribcage. That is a play on words. It's another game they should make. Well, that's the questions.
Someone should make those and sell them in Spencer's Gifts, because you know everyone that shops at Spencer's about to get knocked up anyway.
So just like little handheld?
Well, no, it's a crib made of, like it's one of those crappy resin things that they've got in their, novelty section, but it's actually a crib, and it's, got bone rib bars and all of that crap. Man, I bet that would sell at Spencer's.
Yeah, it would be hot at Spencer's, along with the, I don't know, what do they have, little magnet sets?
No, we got to wrap this up.
Right. Yes, sorry, enough about Spencer's.
Again, between a fat man and his meal.
Yes, I'm sorry. So, me.
Yeah, make it quick.
I will. We did Sup Holmes with Matt Thorson. I don't know if their rerun is up yet. If not, it'll be up soon. Is it up, Conrad?
No, it'll be up, if not tomorrow, on Friday.
Excellent. He made Towerfall. He made Jumper. He made Runman. He made Give Up Robot. He made so many games. He started at 14, and he's 23, I think, now. Towerfall being the big Ouya exclusive everyone's talking about. He's now bringing it to PC, talking about bringing it to consoles. Very interesting discussion with somebody who's been making video games for almost half their life, and successful at it, too. So please check that out. That's on iTunes, and that's on Dtoid TV, which is the YouTube channel. You can watch it there. This Sunday, we have Paul Veer, another young man, not a game designer per se. He works mostly in just creating graphics. He does the graphics for a lot of Lambeer games, like Super Crate Box, Luftrausers. He may be working on the graphics for their yet unannounced follow-up, so that's exciting. He's just a talented, opinionated guy who's got a unique place in the industry right now, where he's a pixel artist who's got a name behind him, which is kind of a surprise. And he doesn't actually really like pixel art that much in other games. He's one of the people who told me right off the bat, it's good that Pokemon is being polygon-based now. Said they weren't doing pixels good enough, so screw them. We'll be talking to Paul Veer about opinionated things about video game graphics and the video game industry this Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch TV and on Destructoid's main page. I'll put it on the front page for you, too. I think that's about it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Jimquisition over on escapistsmagazine.com. It's called Sequel or Slaughter. It mostly focuses on what Ubisoft said about how they won't start a game now unless they can build a franchise off it. Also, as discussed, Poetry Rhyme Down with Jim and Yahtzee. Very dark, even from him this week. So that's interesting stuff. I think that's actually all I've got going this week. What about you, Conrad?
I am reviewing Shadowrun Returns, which comes out tomorrow. So I guess I know what I'm doing tonight. So I'll have the review for that tomorrow. There's probably going to be a video for that, too, if I can get it together. So that's exciting news. Other than that, I think that's it. I know you want to go. So
okay, awesome. Let's do it. See you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a fun one.
Yeah, that was okay.